Who's worse, Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis?
Ooh, that's a hard one. But we're going to talk about it in politics as well as what major black actor is running for a Senate seat.
And what am I reading? The First Ladies. Let's see if we can chat with the author in our prose segment.
You always say doing the most. But in pop culture, I mind. Okay, sorry.
No problem.
Can I just start there?
Yeah, just start there.
You stay doing the most. And in pop culture, y'all know I mind the business that pays me, right?
But I'm going to make her weigh in on the Keke Palmer situation.
Tune into Politics, Prose, and Pop Culture because I'm going to tell you why we're back.
All right. And then we can start.
Okay, so you'll be able to fix this?
Yeah. I'll edit it. Hello and welcome to Politics, Prose, and Pop Culture. We're back. I'm Rashonda Tate.
And I'm Victoria Christopher Murray. And Rashonda, I just want to tell them very quickly why we are back. I've been on tour, and even at the beginning of the year, I told you that so many people were coming up to me saying, I love your books, but what I love even more are you and Rashonda doing this politics, prose, and pop culture. Well, last week, when Marie and I can't remember what city we were in, a lady came up to us and said, I need you two to do this politics thing that they were doing because her other partner has dropped out.
All right. And see, Marie has already replaced me as your writing partner. I'm like, we can't let her have my TV job as well.
So we are back because there's so many people on the road who really appreciate this. So let's do it.
And we're jumping in with, we got to start the politics. And we're looking at, we look at Donald Trump. Most people, anybody that watches this knows kind of how we feel about Donald Trump. But we're watching the slow rise of Ron DeSantis. So the question is, who's worse, Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis?
It's not even a close answer because Ron DeSantis is so much smarter than Trump. Trump operates completely on emotions. So Hunter Biden could get everything dropped. If Hunter just said to Donald Trump, you know what, I like you better than I like my dad, and everything would be dropped.
Yeah.
Ron DeSantis is a calculating man who has a lot of Trump's tendencies, but he knows how to get things done.
He knows how to get things done. He knows how to appeal to his base, and Donald Trump is crazy like a fox. Ron DeSantis is slick like a fox. He will pass all of the things that Donald Trump wanted to do, but he will do his quietly. And before we know it, the courts will be even more stacked. Our rights will be taken. So I'm with you. He is more dangerous by a long shot.
Yeah. And then when you said the slow rise, I don't see a slow rise. I see a steady fall because he's trying to beat Trump. And so people are like, well, I like you, Ron DeSantis, but I'm going to get the real brand. I don't need the knockoff. So as long as Trump is in it, I don't see him winning. And Trump cannot drop out now. He can't. Trump, I don't believe, would have ever run again because he doesn't want to lose again. And he knows he lost. But now he's able to run on election interference, and he's hoping he only plays for today. He doesn't play a long game. So he's just hoping when he gets to the election, there's going to be something else that's going to stop it, even if he loses.
So, people are sitting at home and they're like, okay, I know I said this last time, Trump really can't win, but Trump really can't win. What do you say to those people?
So I would say before 2 weeks ago, Trump really can't win. It's not like people who voted for Joe Biden are going to go back and say, you know what, I think I like Trump better now. Joe Biden has been the most consequential a president in my adult voting lifetime. I would think LBJ was probably in my lifetime, but he's accomplished more. He's gotten Black unemployment down to its lowest level for Black men. The number of jobs he's created is more than anybody else. He's still trying to push through the college loan thing, which I'm not a big fan of, but he promised it. So many people could use that relief. So there's so many things he's done. People are not going to say, you know what, I think I'm going to change my vote to Trump. The challenges are the number of people who are running on the Democratic Party. We've seen this movie before with Jill Stein, and the challenge I have with that is the country is the way it is today for one reason. One reason. People voted third party and didn't put Hillary in. It would be a totally different country if people hadn't wasted their vote. So 2 weeks ago, I would have said, Trump can't win. The same people are going to come out and vote. Trump can't win. I mean, now we have the abortion issue as well. But there are people running in the Democratic Party, and I know we're going to talk about that at another time.
I really do, when we're looking at what Trump can bring to the table and why he's doing this. I don't think he even wants to be president. I think he doesn't want to go to jail.
He doesn't want to go to jail.
And so when you're looking at people sitting home, I don't understand how there's so many people that are like, Joe Biden isn't any better. Joe, what has Joe done? He just has, but we hear it. You see it online. People do not like Joe Biden.
Well, see, I haven't seen people don't like Joe Biden. I really haven't seen it. I have seen people think he's too old. But anybody who says they don't like Joe Biden, I don't understand that. They didn't like Hillary Clinton. So what does that mean? I don't have to like someone for them to be the president. They just need to be qualified to do the job.
And I think that's part of the problem. What happens a lot of times with Democrats, you see them, well, I don't like this person. Do you think those Republicans like Donald Trump?
Not a one of them.
They did not like him, but they saw the end goal.
They got what they wanted. They got what they needed. Democrats aren't, it's really interesting because I used to think Republican voters were low information voters. And I'm just surprised at all of the information that's available to Democrats and how low information. Like, we don't understand the long game. Republicans for 50 years just kept voting for people they didn't like just to get the Supreme Court, and they got it.
And that's what was my next question. So we're talking long game. A lot of the GOP members and voters held their nose and voted for Trump because they were looking at the Supreme Court. Let's talk about that real quick. What difference did that make? That move, them holding their nose and voting so that he could stack their courts, what kind of impact did that make?
The major impact it has made is we lost the right for a woman's right to choose that would have never been taken away. And I am a pro-life person, and you know that. We've had these discussions, but it's not the government's right to come into any woman's life and make this decision. We lost affirmative action. And what I hate about that is that affirmative action, even if it does benefit white women more, we've lost affirmative action, which is just to try to even the playing field. We are in a race where we're all qualified to run, but they've been given a 400-year head start. And we still have obstacles, and they don't want to say, you know what, we'll take qualified people. They're not taking unqualified Black people. They're taking qualified Black people that they would have never looked at before. And so we lost affirmative action. College students who didn't like Hillary Clinton, they would have totally had the college loan relief program. They don't have that. So, and there are more rights coming down the pike that we will lose.
Well, we're back now, so we'll be talking about those along the way. Hopefully, we can keep people educated between now and the election and beyond, because, this is more than just the presidential election that people need to be paying attention to.
Yeah, well, that's how Hill Harper came into it. So all I will say about this, because we want to go on and talk about other things too. All I will say about Hill Harper is he's a very nice man. He was a financial person for Barack Obama's campaign. I think people in Michigan should just look at the other people who are running as well and go with qualifications, not who you like, but who is qualified to make this happen. I've been giving money to another candidate for when she announced, and
Mhm.
that's all I'll say.
And if people are wondering why we're talking about this, it's because actor Hill Harper has announced his plans to run for a U.S. Senate seat in Michigan. Now, I don't know if people remember, but that Michigan Senate seat is crucial for Democrats
Right.
because it flipped from Donald Trump in 2016 to Joe Biden in 2020. So that's an important seat.
Yeah, definitely. So I understand you want to talk a little bit about prose because each week we're going to do some politics, some prose, and some pop culture. I don't know what you want to talk about prose. What's been going on?
It's this great book that I'm reading by these two amazing authors, the First Ladies, which you are about to go out on tour. So I have the luxury of strong arming the author of the First Ladies, one of the authors, into telling us a little bit about it. I read an advance copy. I'm listening to it. I absolutely love this book.
You know what's so interesting about this book? I told you a long time ago it was better than The Personal Librarian, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Challenge that you wonder, this proves that readers just want a good story. I used to believe that every story had to have at the center of it a love story. No matter what, you have to have a little bit of a love story. And we didn't have that in this book. Although your husband said to me, there's lots of love stories in this book, especially the way Mary McLeod Bethune loved it, and loved on her sons and her grandson. And that is absolutely right. Those were the loves of her life.
Mm-hmm.
But this just goes to show me that readers just want a good story. They want a story where they're learning about something and just being entertained and inspired. And that's why I'm really excited about your book that I'm reading right now.
We'll talk about that down the line. Victoria, how do you, when you're writing this and you have all of these books, this is a completely different book. It's like you have channeled so much research and history into this. Do you like doing that better than just sitting there making up the story?
Oh my gosh. Well, because you know me, the most difficult part for me is writing those first words, getting the story out. And I love historical fiction because the story's already there. The challenge with historical fiction is all the work you do have to do. But I love it because just the same way that readers love discovering all these facts, we discovered them first, the
Yeah.
things that we've learned. And so I thought I knew Mary McLeod Bethune. I didn't know nothing about her until I began looking at this. And I love this book. I love The Personal Librarian, but these are two women whose names we know, and now we can really get to know them.
Yeah, if there's someone under a rock that hadn't heard, it's about the friendship between Eleanor Roosevelt and Mary McLeod Bethune. How did you all come up with these two women?
We wanted to do a story that was almost reflective of our friendship because when we went on the road for The Personal Librarian, people absolutely loved the story of Belda Costa Green, but what they loved more was the story between Marie and I. How could we have this kind of relationship when we've had some tough conversations? And you know some of the conversations we've had, and it's been so interesting. People were more interested in that, and so we went looking for um, a story that people could, to show people you can have an interracial friendship and talk about really solid issues and still be friends, because Mary and Eleanor were a black woman and a white woman having a friendship during a time of Jim Crow and segregation. So we loved it.
Absolute wonderful book, and congratulations on making the New York Times. That's
Oh my
that's
God.
a huge applause. So we thank the readers that have picked it up,
That,
and we want you to stay. We see these books that are on the New York Times. They're 30 weeks on the New York Times. We're shooting for that. I know you're so modest. You're like, I'm good, but we're
I'm
shooting
good.
for that.
am good though. I am good. So we wanted to do this in 15 minutes. So I guess that means we don't have a lot of time to talk about
No,
Kiki.
ma'am. No, ma'am. We got a little bit of time. I'm watching the clock. See, she's trying to get out of here because she really does try to mind the business that pays her. So she doesn't like to weigh in on pop culture a lot. I do. So we're going to weigh in because I just got back from the Usher concert. I didn't wear an outfit like Kiki, but Kiki wore that outfit. And if you've seen anything on social media, you know the drama unfolded. So what's your take on it, Victoria?
My take, as I'm still minding the business that pays me, is that you praise in public and shame in private. And I just can't imagine my husband um, ever doing anything like that to me in public. And not only like in a public setting with just a few people, this was going out to millions. And so I don't understand that. I don't understand how he could do something, like tell a grown person what to wear. Would I have worn it? No, but that's only because my backside don't look like that no more. And I don't know if I would have worn it before, but that has nothing to do with the situation. Because I see a lot of women saying, "Well, I wouldn't have worn anything like that." That doesn't have anything to do with this.
Yeah, I definitely think that I completely agree. There is a time and a place. You could have been waiting at the door when she got home to let your feelings be known. And you brought people into your life. Now he wants to be left alone.
Yeah,
Social media has just driven him off social media because everybody's weighing in because you put your wife on Front Street and now people have pulled up lawn chairs and sitting to give their opinion.
and that's your fault now. Sorry. Oh well.
Sorry, not sorry. But here, I applaud Kiki though because she has made T-shirts. Kiki has taken these lemons and made lemonade.
Exactly. And here's the other thing. Didn't he see her when she left home?
That's what she said. She said that the
Oh,
issue, yeah, she said the issue wasn't the dress.
yeah. It
And
was
so,
the way Usher was looking at her because he looked like
but you know what? They're entertainers, and I think you got to understand that both of them are in relationships, and they both were trying to set up. They want to sell records, and
that's right.
that comes with the territory.
That's right.
Well, I do appreciate you weighing in on the pop culture because she doesn't. Will just do politics and prose all day long, but
Um,
you can count on me to keep the pop culture in. We'd love to hear what you want to talk about. So drop us a message and let us know any political topics you want us to talk about. We'll be talking about what we're reading because we love to read. We're avid readers, so we'll be talking about that as well and pop culture.
that's right. So see you next week.
All right, Victoria's going out on tour, but we'll be back next week. Take care.
Bye.